it's Dusty Thunder with another story for you. This one is actually from Am I Overreacting? And the title is Am I Overreacting? My boyfriend said I'm the prettiest when I shut up in front of his friends. Well, what was the reaction? Then we could tell you if you were overreacting or not. My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 22 female, were invited to a birthday party of his friend. The people at this event were all close friends of his from his contract job, and I barely know these people. Everything was going fine, and my boyfriend was clearly having a great time. But at some point, I was telling a story from my school days when my boyfriend interrupted and said, "You know, she's the prettiest when she shuts up." We can go ahead and do this. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. Brozo. Everyone laughed and my boyfriend just kept going saying, "You guys don't know what I go through. She never stops talking. Sometimes I tune her out for my own sanity." Or something along those lines. And he's saying this right in front of her. I'm guessing he's just sauced right now. Doesn't make it okay. Sauced and trying to buck up for his buddies. I'm usually really introverted, but when I warm up to someone, I'm the type to talk a lot. So when he said these words, I felt so embarrassed and humiliated, especially since he said it so casually in front of people I don't even know. I tried to brush it off, but I got quiet after that. Later, after the party was over, I told him how hurtful his comment was. He rolled his eyes and said I was being too sensitive and that it was just a joke and I was making a big deal out of nothing.
Dismiss it.
How completely unexpected from a brozo douche canoe like Bro. He said I embarrassed him by acting cold for the rest of the night and that I should learn to take a joke. He also told me that if I couldn't learn to lighten up, maybe I shouldn't come to events with his friends anymore, even though he was the one who asked me to come to it in the first place. I feel so awful and confused. Am I in the wrong for getting upset and killing the vibe? Poor OP thinks she killed the vibe. Tater, this is Tater territory right here, folks. This is straight up your farmland. Come on over. Let's talk about it. Because this would be like if I said something like this about you, which I would never do because I'm not an idiot or a brozo. Not all the time, like this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time this evening, Tater Thunder. Ayo!
I think she's 22. So I tried to think about, like, as myself being 22 and how, like, no confidence I had that she's even questioning should she be offended by something like this. And, you know, some of the comments were like, well, do you talk too much? I mean, does he have a point? And I was like, regardless of whether or not she talks too much and, like, regardless of whether or not the story was long-winded or whatever, this is not how you speak to another human being to talk to them about something that, even if he does have a problem with it, like, this is such an asshole move to do, to put your girlfriend in her place, to make known to your friends that, yeah, I'm in charge. I wear the pants in the relationship. She answers to me. Like, this is all of those vibes that he's giving off in this. And then when she says, "Hey, your words hurt me," he's like, "F you, take a joke. You're too sensitive." And knowing what I know now, like, she should have got up and left and walked away from this party as soon as those words came out of his mouth. But at 22, like, when you are still figuring things out and you don't know yourself like that, this is the kind of shit that makes people insecure. This is the kind of shit that derails your confidence. And especially for someone who, like she said, when you're more of like an introvert and you're shy at first and you don't know, like, you're warming up to people, like 100% that's me. And still to this day, like, it takes me a minute to warm up and, like, actually start communicating, having conversations. And she was at that stage and then he just shut her down with the worst way possible. No, this guy would be an ex, like, so freaking fast.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, this unacceptable behavior. It's unacceptable to treat any human like that. If you have a problem with how much someone talks, especially your significant other, that's a conversation that you have in private, one-on-one. And also, like, he knows who she is, but then he went even further to just make mockery out of her even further by saying, "You guys don't know what I go through. She never stops talking. It's sometimes I tune her out for my own sanity." I would have been like, sanity delivered, and I would have left the party. Because this is, that's just mean. There's no other word for it. It's just cruel and mean and disrespectful.
And cowardly.
Absolutely.
Cowardly because, like, he didn't have the stones to have, if these were real issues, didn't have the stones to have this conversation with you in private. He just wanted to buck up and show off by pretending or showing his true colors in front of his buddies and just using you as the punching bag and not giving a shit what damage it does to your relationship. This is a learned behavior, right? He learned this from somebody. Maybe his dad was this way, but he learned this and thinks it's okay and thinks you're going to stay around and take it. Prove him wrong.
Please.
Prove him wrong.